Welcome to Flight Pass. My name is Simon, and we are using Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 to have a look at the terrain and the distances involved in the Battle of Waterloo. We've got a whole playlist now going on, and you'll see a number of videos popping up on YouTube. We've broken up into little parts. And the little breaks we have there, the music, by the way, is by myself. Band name is Piraten, so go and check that out if you can on your usual streaming platforms or even Bandcamp, and that's a good way to support the channel. And we have a couple of playlists at the moment on that YouTube channel. We've done we're doing Waterloo, and we have done D-Day, and we will be doing different subjects going forwards. So it won't just be Napoleonic or World War II. We'll be going to be doing. I think the next subject will be the Falklands War. Yes, thank you, Guy. Oh, by the way, Guy, you are in Bulow today. The information is a whole bunch of books. I've been studying Waterloo since I was a kid, and I have a huge pile of books. You'll see some of them on the Twitch thing, but there's a few here. I will do a whole biography bit at the end, I think, of all the stuff we've got. But it's just a number of sources all the time. You're picking up little bits everywhere. And what I've been doing, I was writing, beginning to write a book on it, and I hadn't got around to doing that. What I'm reading off at the moment is my notes that I made for writing that book. It's kind of, I think it's something in the region of 131,000 words. So that's what I'm using at the moment to read off. Essentially, that's why you sometimes hear me pausing, because I'm getting the same information from different sources in those notes, and they haven't been gone through. And because I haven't got around to writing the book, I thought it would be a good way of reviewing my notes by actually flying along the story, looking at the places in the helicopter, and that gives you a better insight into what's going on, and hopefully other people will find this interesting and helpful. If you're one of these people who love history and always have your finger in the map section of a history book, and this is kind of for you, really. And hopefully you can dip in there wherever you want and follow along. I know it's not for everyone. I know in this day and age everything's got to be 100 mile an hour and have flashy graphics, and you've got to be precise, and if you don't do this, the algorithm won't like you. I don't care about that sort of stuff. If people like it, they like it, and if they don't, then they can go off and watch a 3-minute video of a cat. But for the people who are with me at the moment, and I do really want to thank everybody who has shown an interest, because you are mental for doing that. I've actually probably lost a follower by the looks of things on Twitch, and we have around about still got about 30 subscribers still on YouTube. So if you are watching it's your first time and you want to support a young, not young as in me, but young as in the channel, then please leave a subscription or a follow or a like, and that would just encourage me to carry on, even though I will probably still do this anyway, because it's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Anyway, so where were we? Well, we were discussing the Prussians coming out essentially of these woods below us. This is the Bois de Paris, and if you remember, the 4th Corps of the Prussians commanded by a guy called Bulow. He had formed up his corps at the place called Saint-Lambert. Now that is this place below us here on our left. And essentially what he's going to do is to start moving, using that place to form up his corps, and then his corps is coming up here. And there's information at the time is that a local farmer in this area comes to their aid, and he manages to guide them up through these trees to this area below us. And the Prussians are pleased to find that there's no French in this area below us here. The French position, by the way, is where this dot is over on this side. So these woods here are clear of French. And so because this is the place where the corps is probably vulnerable, because they're forming up and they're trying to prepare themselves for the battle ahead, a small force of French in this area below us, in this area where this the trees meet the sort of fields, would have caused a significant amount of delay, at least, to the Prussians. So that is the kind of the story of this part of the Battle of Waterloo, is that the Napoleon hasn't reacted to the realization that the Prussians are arriving on his right flank, and he hasn't been aggressive enough to move his defense towards these woods over here. It's even noted at this time that the Prussians will start to form up essentially in these woods on the left, and they actually start to come out on the far side of the woods. And what they have, the French, is essentially, if you think like flankers, they have like a cavalry flanking units on their wings, and these flanking units, they describe them as looking, not even looking towards the woods, they're looking towards the battlefield over here. So presumably we're talking maybe in this area down below where this white dot is. We've got the sort of right flank of the French. You remember d'Erlon's corps is in this area here. They're not even looking this way. They're looking towards the ridge up here where Wellington's position is. So the Prussians managed to get control of these woods on the right-hand side here. And it's from this that they can build their platform to attack the French. And I'm not sure the modern day wood, the extent of it is, but it's described at the time that the edge of the wood here was essentially around about 2.5 kilometers from the village of Plancenoit. So we're looking at Bulow's corps in this area below us here, and then the edge of the wood, which is here, and they're describing that distance of these fields where this white dot is to the village of Plancenoit here as about 2.5 kilometers. That looks about right from this distance here. We get low. Let's do a low flyover. So this is where the Prussians are forming up. The farmers help them to find this position, and they're looking out this way, and the the French cavalry flanking patrols are not looking this way, and they describe in this distance here to the village of Plancenoit as around about 2.5 kilometers. It's about right. Maybe the woods have been cut back a little bit. But it's about right. And this is the village of Plancenoit, right here. And we have La Belle Alliance just here on our right. And the farmhouse of Rossom is just here on our left. So let's spin around then. So the Prussians are coming out of that wood and they're beginning to form up into their formations, preparing to attack. And it's believed at this point that there's just a brief pause whilst they're waiting for their artillery to come up as well. So let's spin back around. And then we'll do, you can see from this side, so this is Plancenoit here. So we're talking, they're coming out and they're forming up over here where this white dot is. And I'm just going to look at the map here. We're talking, they're trying to bring up the artillery in this, the valley here, essentially. And we'll go over here now, because this is the time when Blucher's talking to his men, saying things like, you know, don't let me down, chaps. You know, get these guns up there. I don't want to break my promise to Wellington. And these roads are, you can imagine, thousands of troops moving up them, cavalry moving up, the rain and the sort of the chutes of this these roads here. So let's go and have a look at that. So this is the Bois de Paris. We're talking about them all coming out at this position here. And they're waiting now just for the artillery to arrive, and they're coming up this see out this steepness of this valley. Let's dive down so we get a good appreciation of this terrain. They're coming up these slopes on our left, so we're presumably going to be using one of the roads. This is the obviously the oops, I think we're going up this road here. See on that one there, we just passed it. That's probably the road that we're talking about. And this one hit this one down here. Difficult terrain, just pause there, but there's difficult terrain to organize in, so you're trying to get your troops up as quickly as possible, but you really do need an open ground to start getting into any sort of fighting formations. And Blucher, remember, he's about 72 years old. He's got an injury, I think it's to his shoulder. Remember, he got thrown off his horse at the Battle of Ligny. I think it was something, he had some quote about something like his doctor wanted to try and put some ointment on his shoulder, and he said something like, no one would care if I was anointed today, or something. Some words like that. So all this time that these soldiers are here, they're at the sort of probably edge of this wood, and they're forming up into formations. And the Prussian soldiers are saying at the time that they're really nervous because it's the times when these formations are forming up or changing formation. Remember de Erlon's Corps, and they're at the point when they're trying to change their formation is when they're hit by cavalry. And so the Prussians at this point are really nervous about being interrupted by the French. So again, it's one of those what if stories. What if Napoleon had moved some of the corps of Lobau to this edge here of the trees rather than allow them to come onto Plancenoit, then the story might have been a lot different. Because essentially what there is a resource fight. You're trying to use the least amount of forces to contain a threat on this flank. The more forces you have to use, the more forces you have to move from your reserve, your Imperial Guard, out over here to the right, and then the less forces you've got to attack Napoleon up at the ridge. And so maybe advancing a corps out here to mess up this formation. In this area here, I believe it was probably these fields here, is where the Prussians were lining up and getting ready to attack. So Napoleon is just taking a complete gamble that he'll be able to fight Wellington. And remember, this is the same time that he's getting messages from Grouchy saying that he was at Wolheim. So there was no possibility at all that Grouchy would be able to get to him by this day. So we're talking around about 3 o'clock now in the afternoon. Sorry, I just have to get my notes sorted. And Losvan, the lead brigade, is coming out. And there's a brief skirmish around this time on the edge of the wood, involving a cavalry screen, and it clashed with a French patrol that has obviously been sent out here to check it out. And this is when Colonel Count Schwerin, I think is how you pronounce it, he's killed. And this is essentially the first officer to be killed on the battlefield. And there's a monument to him can be seen on the road that skirts the northern edge of the Paris wood. So somewhere over here there's a road that skirts the edge of the wood, and there'll be a monument to a Prussian officer. If we could find that monument, we would know exactly where we are. So I'll do a quick Google search. And it's actually quite a big monument. It looks like a big sort of like a cannon, vertical cannon kind of thing. I am not finding out where that is. He's killed at the head of the 6th Prussian Hussar Regiment during an encounter with the French cavalry. This is from Wikipedia, by the way. Killed by a cannonball. And it says it's located on the Rue de Vieux Monument in Lasny in the province of Walloon-Brabant. So let's pause here and just see if we can find that on our map. It's actually called the Rue. There we go. Rue Monument. Rue de Vieux Monument. So it's the road of the monument's view or something. Somewhere in this area, anyone can see it. Go a little bit. Mont Saint-Jean, Chemin Smohain. Somewhere around here. Rue de Villa. Rue de Vieux Monument. There we go. So presumably, follow this road. We come out just there. So we come up from Lasny in this direction. So let's see if we can find that. And we'll probably end the stream on this subject. So we'll just do a little bit of a sweep. Where are we now? We are we're almost on Genappe. Let's spin back around this way. So yes, we're coming to the end of this stream now. We've been going for almost 2 hours. So whilst we try and find this a location, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you find it interesting. We will be back again tomorrow, same time, around about midday UK time. And we'll be discussing the attack on Plancenoit itself. So we're just going to finish this stream. We're just going to look at see if we can find this monument. And that will give us a good heads up to where we are. So the patrol had obviously come quite a long way into this defile area, and we're heading over here to this place here. And it looks like the road is just to the coming out in this part here. So we'll just head there. We'll jump out when we get there and have a look. We're talking here around about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and Loslin's brigade is followed by Hilliers at this point. And then followed by Hake. And the 3rd Brigade of Bulow's Corps would arrive around about 4:30 on these woods here. And the artillery would begin to arrive at about 5 PM on top of the on the border of the wood and the fields. And then the rear guard would arrive at around about 5:30. Okay, but by the time the rear guard have arrived, then they're actually engaged at Plancenoit. Right, let's see if we can find this monument. So we're at Lasnay, and I think it's this road here. Let me just get that map back out again. So the Rue de Vieux monument is kind of on this side. I think we're talking this road here. Possibly this one. Sorry, I'll move a map for you. So I think we're talking about this road here. So we're going to be looking for a monument, presumably somewhere up this road. Oh, it would be great, wouldn't it, if I finished with actually finding the thing. That would be a good way to end a stream. Don't think that's it. And we're losing the road here somewhere in here, is it? Oh, it comes out here. This seems to be a good position, and I think that's it there. Is that it there? It looks pretty thin, doesn't it? Maybe not. Could it be here? Well, this is the sort of area, though, isn't it? So, not easy to see. It is photogrammic imagery, so if it's here, we should be able to see it. It could be that position there. It looks like a cannon, though. I'm not sure if that looks like a cannon. But this is definitely the road, I think. Let me just have a quick give you the... comes all the way out, and then it... well, it seems to sort of come around this way, so maybe we've gone too far. Let's have a look. So that seems to be the road there, comes up here, and then there was another road over this side, which is called the same thing. And this one comes up from in this sort of direction here. Anyway, I think we will have to try and find that another day. If anybody knows where that monument is, that would be really cool. It's definitely in this sort of area here. So the road comes up, splits here. This is the left-hand side. Comes up this way. Essentially could be back here somewhere. I can't find it. I'll let one more sweep of you guys being able to see. But essentially, this rue, the view to monument is this road here. And so somewhere along here is a monument that looks like a cannon. A vertical cannon. And anyway, it's the first casualty of the day for the Prussians at Waterloo. It would just be nice to sort of see it, but I can't find it. But let's not be obsessed with it. This is the sort of thing you see me, I will be doing later trying to find these things. I love these sort of reconnaissance sort of missions. It doesn't seem it. But you can see the sort of place where it was. It's in this area here. And you can see that it's on the edge of the woods. It's coming out. And this is where a French patrol essentially arrives. Anyway, let's call that a day, shall we? Thank you very much for watching. And hopefully you've enjoyed it. And when we continue in the next stream, we'll be looking how the Prussians cover this ground here, essentially moving over to the right-hand side of Napoleon's flank, and how essentially this affects the battlefield. What we're going to be looking at is how Napoleon has to start committing more and more troops to this right-hand side. Essentially around this, we'll talk about this church here and the graveyard around it, which has got a walled graveyard. And essentially he's having to move his reserve across this area here, moving in. Off the top of my head, I think, we're talking in terms of the Imperial Guard, we're talking about 22 battalions. And how he has to start sending these reserves in this direction here. And every single battalion that he will send over here to protect his flank means there's one less that essentially can move up onto this ridge. So we're getting close to the end of this story of the Battle of Waterloo. It will only take probably about a month or so from here for me to finish it. Joking. Oh, am I? I don't know. But we will be continuing the story after Waterloo, so stick with me. We'll talk about the actual finish of the battle. We'll talk about the pursuit, and then we'll run the pursuit of Napoleon all the way back to Paris and his abdication and all that sort of stuff. And we'll end the whole thing in St. Helena. So yeah, it'll probably take about a month. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.